Hey there guys, how's it going? I'm Genius Phoenix 123 and today I am going to be doing the movement script for the object player, and this time we've done top-down movement quite a while ago. I haven't uploaded in ages, I think maybe 4 or 5 weeks now. Just really haven't found time, and now we are going to do the platforming movement. And I did try this in another video, but then gave up and did the top-down one instead, and I realised what I did was mess around with the scripts in here and try and run a script by passing variables without passing the variables or something like that, and it was getting a bit confusing. So now we are just going to be starting on the platforming movement. So this is quite heavily based off of Sean Spaulding's platforming movement, so I would definitely go and check him out. He is a very good channel. He is sort of what started me off on GameMaker in the first place. But before that, we're just going to quickly write in here else if, so this is a sort of like a, you could say it's like a secondary if statement, but I don't know. State is equal to, and we'll call this one PL for platformer. Open curly bracket, close curly bracket, put some space in between them, and then we'll tab SCR underscore move underscore state underscore PL, which we haven't created yet but will be created, and then we'll say move speed like that. Okay, so now we are going to go into this state here, SCR move state underscore TPND, and we're going to click here to add a new tab. We're going to do script underscore move state, the state is move state underscore PL like that. And if we'll just copy this bit across like that, and then change that up there to PL. Don't think we need to do anything else on that. So now if I just, I'll be back in 1 second as I pull up the thing I'm supposed to be looking at. Okay, so we are back and I am just checking this. I have added to this from what Mr. Spaulding has already written, I don't know. But just before that, seeing as we've got everything else, we're going to not that one. We are going to pull this up and just read through it quickly, and I'll explain what he has done, just because it's a bit difficult to understand. So like I said, I've modified it. I've added in sprint here. We're not going to be adding in sprint yet, we'll do that later. But before, we've got get players input, so that's just what we've got with the SCR get input here, like that. We're only going to be using the right and left key, and we're also going to be using the space key, so we'll say jump, maybe slash attack for the top down key like that. We might not be able to have the slash in there, but we'll see. Is equal to keyboard check pressed VK underscore space like that. And I doubt we'd be using anything for the arrows, or we'll use space for WAs and Ds thing. Alright, so we can't do that, so we'll do jump underscore attack underscore key. So that's been set up there, and now if we do str underscore get underscore inputs again, and we'll do that, and we'll pull up the code again, and so that's just basically str underscore get input, and then underneath he's got reactor inputs. So move is equal to key left plus key right, and what this means is, because when your keyboard when you check your keyboard for whether you're pressing something or not, it will, so your computer will check, and then if it's true, your computer will pass a 1 back to the code that is trying to read it, and if it is not, it will pass a 0, which is why you've got the little minus in there. So that's like a minus 1 if you are pressing the left key, and it's just a normal one because there's no minus if you're pressing the right key. And that means that if key left is -1 when pressed and key right is normal 1 when pressed, it would be -1 plus 1 is equal to 0. So when you're holding both keys, you won't move at all because it'll be 0, your move will be 0. If you're just holding key left or left key, it'll be -1, so you'll be moving that direction, which is -1 for X. And if it is key right, that'll be 1, so you'll be moving that way, and if it's neither, it will equal 0, because it's 0 and 0 is equal to 0. And then under that, you've got HSP is equal to move times move speed. So that won't actually move your character, that just sets the horizontal speed to be whatever your move speed is. In our case, it is 4, and then it will times it by your move, so either 1 minus 1 or 0, and then it will either move it by like an increment of 4, 0 times for as long as both keys or neither of the keys are pressed, 1 time for like every second or something, and then -1 time for every second, and it can be quite confusing, but that's what that means. And yeah, and then down here you've got jumping. So grav is what he uses as gravity, and it's saying if your v speed is less than 10, so he makes the jumping in such a way that you jump and then your vertical speed will decrease, and then as soon as it's lower than 10, you'll be affected by gravity, so you'll like be pulled down instead of pushed up. And then he has put in the jumping there, VSP, set VSP there, and it's not until he's done the collisions where he uses x plus equals h speed to move and y plus equals v speed to move. But what we are going to do is just write out this bit here up till this curly bracket here that I've just highlighted. Obviously replacing all the names that we need to, because it's been quite a while since I wrote this, and we also don't have a wall in our game yet, so we'll quickly create a wall as well using the sprite editing and the object editing. So first we need to create a wall sprite, so we'll go create sprite, we'll press that button up there, spr_wall. I'm going to edit sprite. Because I'm lazy, I'm not going to do anything detailed. Usually what game developers do is they've got a phase called whiteboxing, where you just make it like a blank white or a blank space, a blank black like object, so it doesn't have any textures, and then they add the textures in afterwards once they've got all the game actually working. And then we'll do obj_wall like that, and we'll assign it this sprite here. We don't need to do anything to that yet. And then we are going to go into rooms, arm level 1, we are going to place down some walls just beneath our player. You can't see them because it's black, so I'll change that and make the walls white instead, because otherwise you can't see them and that's not a good thing. Right click, and then there we go. So if we now go into our room, you can see that they are definitely there. I'm not conning you. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back into MoveState, PL, and then we are going to sort of just copy what this says here. So I'm going to move my window just so I can read it, and then we will write out react to inputs, and I could copy and paste, but that's never going to get anybody to learn, so we're just going to write it out. We're going to say move is equal to key underscore left plus key underscore right. HSP is equal to move times MoveSpeed, not MoveSped, MoveSpeed, and then if VSP is less than 10. Oh, already got one in there. VSP plus equals grav. And then what we're also going to need to do is go into OBJ player, go into the create event, and just set up some quick variables. So we'll say grav will be the only one that we'll do, not gravity, and we'll say 0.4 because that's the one that Sean Spalding uses. And then we don't really need to set up a VSP or a HSP in here. We could do it in the MoveState unless we wanted to use it for top down, but we'll make changes later. So we'll say var HSP is equal to 0 because we don't want the character to be moving, and var VSP is equal to 0. So we want to change key left and key right, so I'm copying it too close. It's right left underscore key and right underscore key. So I will probably do this quite a bit. Just go and check if you're not sure whether I've got it right or not in your other scripts, but you'll get loads of error messages probably because I am unable to write code out properly. Alright, so now we are going to write out this section here, and this is just to make sure you can jump, and we'll do if place underscore meeting x comma y comma y plus 1 apparently comma and wall, obj wall in our case, curly brackets, ESP is equal to key underscore jump times minus jump speed. Alright, so that's another thing that we need to do. I just remembered this as well. Go into OBJ player, go into create, go and write down, we'll do it above grav, below move speed. Jump speed is equal to 7. You don't want these too high, just in general, because if you have them way too high, then you will literally walk through walls off of your screen and disappear, and I have tried it. My friend, who also does quite a bit of GameMaker, made a game he called Coffee Man, where he put the MoveSpeed to like 15,000 or something stupid like that, and it basically just like that and disappeared. So we're not going to be doing that. We need to put these in here as well. So move speed, jump speed, and grab, and then we'll just copy this line here, Control C, put a comma there, Control V, comma, Control V, and then put that as a, I think it doesn't matter if we do that, but that's argument 2, that's argument 1, change this to jump, and we'll change this one to grab, like that. Okay, and then we are back at this, so we will put that there, and I believe we don't need to write any more out until we get to the collisions. So we are going to do the collisions, otherwise it won't work. Don't know, let's key jump there. Alright, so as he does, we'll start with the horizontal collision. Like that. And I'll just explain what he's doing in the horizontal collision, and then we can write it out. So in this if statement here, he's asking the computer, is the player in contact with any of the OBJ walls? I think if it's X plus HSP, it means like anywhere near any of the walls, yeah. So that's horizontal collision. If it's anywhere, so X will be the origin of the wall. So in our case, the wall's origin is, yeah, up there. It's in 0, 0. So if the place meeting is X plus HSP, that's asking, is the place meeting, is the X meeting of the wall anything from X to plus the HSP of the player, so you can't fall through it if you're not in line with the X. It's just confusing, I know, but oh well. And the next one is Y walls. So that's just flat surface, I think. If it's in collision with the floor, I've explained that really badly. If it's in collision with the floor, then carry out this statement, and I can't really. I'm just gonna write this out. I don't know what I'm trying to do. Like, it's difficult to explain. All you need to know is if it's touching, if you hold the right arrow or left arrow, you're gonna move, and yeah, pretty much, and you will collide against the floor. But other than that, we'll just write it out. So if place underscore meeting X plus HSP Y OBJ underscore wall and then we'll do curly brackets, put a bit more of a gap in there, while place is not meeting, so it's place meeting with a exclamation mark in front of it, means it's not. X plus sign. You don't understand what any of this means if you like what any of these mean, like sign means and var means. If you click on a word and then middle button, not N, oh no, it is N, it will come up with the manual and it will tell you what these mean. So here it says, description, this function returns whether a number is positive, negative, or neither, and it will return 1, -1, or 0 respectively. So, for example, the sign of 458 would be 1, and the sign of -5 would be 0, -1, and 0 would be 0. So that's just what that means. I think it's mostly used for booleans, so true or false, and to test whether a certain thing is true or not. But we won't worry too much about that. Where are we? Sign HSP. BSP is the wrong one. Sign HSP. Y obj underscore wall. More curly brackets. And then we'll say x plus equals sign of HSP, and that will just be is so while place meeting, so yeah, I think I understand it now. This is saying is the player colliding with the x of anything, any of the walls, so plus its HSP, plus the HSP of the player, so is it trying to run into a wall, and it'll be y while place meeting the x, it's moving it backwards or something like that, but at such a small rate that it will look like it's just not moving at all or something like that. But I still can't do it, it's fine. But we will leave that for now and just write HSP is equal to 0. I think I've explained that wrong, just ignore me. And then x plus equals HSP. Okay, vertical collision. So this is pretty much exactly the same. As you can see, you just need to change every instance of HSP to BSP and switch it to the Y and things like that, and then otherwise it's the same, so you can just copy and paste that. Control C, Control V, like that. That needs to be a Y. That needs to be a V. That needs to be a V. That needs to be a V. That needs to be a Y. We need to Control X that, Control V it, and change that one to a V. Control X this, Control V it, and change that to a V. And now, if we go into the player and change the state to PL, I think we set it to. Yeah, and then run our game, can get rid of that in a minute. And then, oh, we got a thing. VASP. I typed too quickly. So this is a good thing to look at. This is what you call a syntax error. For anybody who doesn't know, and the syntax error is where you've like spelled something incorrectly, or it's like in English. If your English teacher or an examiner or something was like, they were marking your book or your paper or something like that, and they found a spelling mistake, and they were like, this is a spelling mistake, or you've got the wrong grammar here, or something like that. It's a bit different, because the laws of English / any other language don't apply to this sort of code, but it's a bit like that. It's saying, you've got a spelling mistake in this script, go and fix it. And I have put VASP, it's just VSP. Okay. There are a lot of other types of not syntax error, well, there are a lot of types of syntax error, but there are a lot of types of error. And what now? Not set before reading, key jump. That'll be another one. I did say earlier I would do this. It's jump key, not key jump. Like that. And I just noticed that the player is a bit strange, so we're going to increase the gravity to 0.8 and see if that does anything. Try that. But there are a lot of other error messages you can get. Not all of them you will understand. So what now? Not set before reading. Jump key. I swear I put jump key in. Oh, it's jump attack key. Why do I keep doing this? Jump underscore attack underscore key. So everybody gets error messages. It's not just me, and it's not just you. I get them all the time. I hardly ever understand them unless it's just a simple syntax error. So finally we can move. We keep moving the wrong way though. And all is fine and dandy, I guess. Oh, I know what that is. We need to make this a minus here, like that. And then that will mess up with our top down movement, but we can fix that pretty easily just by putting, there we go. I want that one. I still keep going left. Don't know why. It's pretty annoying. I don't know, but you get the sort of gist of it. I'll have it fixed by the next time I'm uploading. So I know that's not very reliable, and I probably should be working it out now, but it'll take me a while. But that's just sort of simple movement. We can fix it. I'm gonna have to try and fix quite a lot of things in this. But anyway, thank you all for watching, I guess. Should be uploading in another week. I might try something more simple next week, but before then, have a great life, and goodbye.
Yeah.